Today is Friday, June 28th. I just wanted to make a quick check-in video. Last video I made was on the 14th, I think, and now it's been about 2 weeks. So, over the last week, I'm up about 10 grand. Today, Tesla spiked early in the morning and then went back down. Yesterday was the presidential debate, which was terrible.
We have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
And something interesting that I heard someone say after the debate was over was if there was ever a time for American adversaries to do something, specifically like China invading Taiwan, now might be the time. Capitalize when the iron is hot kind of mentality. Is that actually going to happen? I have no idea. So honestly, I just adjusted my sendometer this episode to be slightly lower. What have I changed in terms of my investing strategy because of this? Nothing, actually, not much. So I still have the same positions. I bought more GameStop than I did 2 weeks ago. The idea about GameStop is if there is a market downturn, like if something crashes the market substantially, like China invading Taiwan, there's this idea about margin calls and collateral requirements that might trigger some kind of short squeeze. So, I mean, it's not necessarily the best logic, but I believe that GameStop is a decent hedge against any kind of downward market movement. But also, it's still bullish on a company. You're still going long on GameStop. So you can't really go wrong with owning those shares. There's a lot of background about why that is, and it hasn't necessarily been proven yet. But yeah. So anyway, I think overall we had a good day. Tesla just randomly kind of popped again. I think there's a lot of like upward pressure, like something's trying to like blow up and it's just waiting for something. And on August 8th, they are going to do Robotaxi Day. So I'm hoping something happens until then, but I'm not buying anything because of the sendometer and the current kind of political situation. Another way that you can look at it, which I mentioned I think 3 episodes ago, is before you make a big purchase, check out political insiders. What are the politicians doing? And as far as I'm aware, nothing big has changed for politicians buying stocks. So, I mean, I guess there's a higher chance that nothing bad is going to happen too soon that hasn't been leaked to the politicians ahead of time. Roaring Kitty, the GameStop guy, posted this week, which is just a picture of a dog. Something that's weird. So first of all, I guess if you're watching this for the first time and it seems counterintuitive to put too much thought into just random memes and tweets, but unironically, this guy is probably one of the greatest investors in the history of the stock market. So clearly he knows something that we don't. And someone deciphered in one of his older tweets about, I think it was in May, there was a list of emojis that he put at the end of his video. And the idea is that this guy, Roaring Kitty, has figured out the cycle. It's called FTD cycle, failure to deliver cycle for GameStop, amongst other things that I don't even fully know, to be honest. But anyway, he put together this string of emojis and people found out that he might be pulling them back as if it's almost like a timeline. And so he posted a dog. I can't believe this is, yeah, so he posted a dog, and then the next emoji is an American flag. So July 4th is coming up soon. That's interesting. And then you have a microphone, eyes, a fire, an explosion, and then cheering some beer at the end. And usually the end, or at least cheering beers, is something that you do when things are good, right? Like Mazel Tov, Prost kind of thing. Once again, this is ridiculous that this is kind of how the world works, but this guy knows something that we don't, and he has to speak in, ciphers, so that the algorithms don't screw up the stock and so that people can't sue him because of stock manipulation. And anyway, yeah. So it's interesting. When he posted this, Chewy, which is Ryan Cohen's other company, spiked because of a share buyback. I don't know what this is supposed to imply. And if we look at the, I skipped this. Fear and greed is 44. I think that's pretty fine. If we look at the stock chart, one thing to note is that just looking at raw technicals, Tesla is now a buy. And if you look at the RSI, we're about 54. The MACD, the blue, has crossed over the orange, which means that we're on a positive uptrend. So things are looking good for Tesla. It's been a pretty boring 3 months, to be honest. And GameStop, same thing. We had the falling wedge. It broke out. It's coming back down. This story is far from finished, so I continue to buy shares. Last thing I want to say, just for my own kind of like record keeping, is what is the IV for Tesla? And it's pretty high. It's 77th percentile. I wasn't aware it was actually that high. So I think that kind of explains why the options increased so much recently, despite the underlying asset not moving that much. And then for GME, it's roughly the same. I believe it's 75% that I just looked, 74th percentile. So we're not buying options anytime soon. If I do, I'll do some call debit spreads because of also the possibility of geopolitical turbulence. So yeah, that's it for today. It was nice to break the 50K mark again. I actually broke it in really fast early on. And then since I started doing this series, I've basically done nothing. But let's see, as of today, we're up 17K total. So not too bad. I won't be celebrating until we're at 200, because then that would mean my bull thesis and the stock option strategy was correct. And that would be sometime around the end of 2025. So that's it. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions.
Feel free to subscribe to stay tuned for future video tutorials that I'll be releasing soon, and to follow along with me on this journey. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, or visit lifewell.co for more information about investing. And as always, I'll see you next time.